and that somehow drives the body or tells the body what to do. For instance, if you're thirsty and you consciously decide to go into the kitchen to get a glass of water, then it's your soul that makes this conscious decision and causes your body to get up and start walking. And the second view, the materialistic scientific view of humans. There is no more to human being than his or her physical body. There is no non-physical soul in addition to the body. So everything about you that makes you who you are can be found in your brain. Your beliefs and desires, your hopes and fears, your memories, your feelings of love and hate. These are all in your brain, coded by neural pathways. And if we want to know why you got up and walked into the kitchen, we just have to look at your brain. There's nowhere else to look, because you don't have a non-physical soul. Your thirstiness was a physical thing, neurally coded in your brain. Moreover, your conscious decision to go get some water was also physical. It was a physical, neural event that occurred in your brain. And this neural event caused your muscles to move, and so on and so forth. The debate between these two views is obviously very heated and controversial in its own right, and I am not going to try to settle this debate here. But the difference between these two views of human beings is important to our topic for a few reasons. The first point to note is that the scientific enemies of free will, people like Wegner and Harris, who think that science has shown that we don't have free will, generally assume something like a materialistic scientific view of humans. Now, given this, you might think, so if I believe in God, and if I believe that I have a non-physical soul, then I don't have to worry about the arguments that these people have given. I don't have to worry that I might not have free will. But it's not obvious that this is right. It may be that the belief in souls doesn't solve the problem. In other words, it may be that even if you accept the spiritual religious view, even if you believe that we all possess non-physical souls that drive our bodies, you can't use this belief to weasel out the arguments against free will. It may be that the arguments against free will still go through. We'll have to see about this. In any event, whatever we say about whether the spiritual religious view can be used to block the arguments against free will, I'm going to spend much more time looking for a response to the anti-free will arguments that we can all use, regardless of whether we believe in non-physical souls. In doing this, I will often be assuming, for the sake of argument, that the materialistic scientific view of humans is correct. In other words, the question I'll be trying to answer is whether we can find a way of responding to the arguments against free will if we assume that human beings don't have non-physical souls. My idea here is that if we can find a way for materialists to respond to the anti-free will arguments, then advocates of the spiritual religious view should be able to respond in a similar way. So, by proceeding in this fashion, we'll actually be looking for a response that everyone can use. But in the spirit of disclosure, so you know who you're listening to here, let me lay my cards on the table. I don't believe in God, and I don't believe in non-physical souls. I'm not a mad dog, foaming at the mouth atheist, but I just in fact don't believe that there are any such things as gods or non-physical souls. But this view of mine won't really matter in this book because, again, I'm going to be looking for an answer to the arguments against free will that we can all use. And what's more, I'm going to address the question of whether we can escape the anti-free will arguments by abandoning materialism and endorsing the idea that we all have non-physical souls. Before getting down to business, I should probably say something about the fact that free will is important to us. This is a point that is often made by people writing on this topic. They tell us that free will is central to morality, religion, politics, and our legal system. Indeed, we're told that free will is crucial to our concept of ourselves as human beings. This is perhaps all true, but I smell a rat. This sounds to me like an attempt to justify the decision to write about free will. Moreover,